very worried that Prince William could move to strip her of her Duchess of Sussex title when he becomes monarch. Of course, Harry and Meghan remain the Duke and Duchess.
Extraordinary claims that Meghan Markle is threatening to sue the British royal family and Prince William if her title...
The palace walls are practically shaking, and this time it's not because of any disaster, it's because Meghan Markle might be gearing up for the boldest legal swing the monarchy has seen in ages. Whispers bouncing around Buckingham say she's ready to take legal action against Prince William himself if he removes her Sussex title once he steps up as king. Yes, that's the word. She's reportedly convinced she can drag the future King of England into court.
I just think it's tacky and it's not a good...
over a title she never actually owned in the first place. This twist has people in royal circles and legal halls looking at each other like, is this for real? The shock hit fast. Even constitutional experts, usually calm and polished, are finding it hard to keep a straight face as they label this move one of the wildest things coming out of the Montecito circle yet. But insiders insist Meghan believes her argument is airtight. She's telling people that because she used the Duchess of Sussex styling in Hollywood deals, charity projects, and big public appearances, she now has some permanent personal claim to it. Her timing is raising even more eyebrows. Just weeks ago, King Charles showed how powerful the crown truly is when he stripped Prince Andrew of his titles with a simple letters patent. No drama, no delays. And now sources say Meghan is in full panic mode, calling lawyer after lawyer, searching for someone willing to agree with her instead of explaining the harsh reality of how monarchy actually works. Royal titles don't work like brand deals or business contracts. They're granted at the monarch's pleasure, not earned like job perks, and they can be taken back just as quickly as they're given. The irony hits hard, considering this is the same woman who once told Oprah that royal titles meant nothing to her, yet now she's ready to go into legal battle to defend the very thing she once dismissed. King Charles's decisive move with Andrew should have made things crystal clear.
Years to Harry and to the rest of the royal family. We've never heard once since she's shown some sort of gratitude. And look what her life is. I don't mean making bag.
In the monarchy, nobody, no matter how famous or glamorous, is immune from royal authority. But sources say Meghan is convinced her situation is a special case. They claim she believes her years using the Sussex styling in Hollywood give her a sort of personal ownership right, as if she built the title herself. Her advisors are reportedly stressing that she has misunderstood how the crown operates. Titles aren't personal property or business assets. They're symbolic honours given at the monarch's will, and they can be revoked at any moment.
But what a week on Planet Meg. She's here, she's there, she's every bloody where. In Paris, in New York, in Washington, saying this, saying that, and, as always with the Duchess of Jargon, saying nothing that makes any sense.
No questions asked. Legal experts are calling the plan frivolous and even embarrassing. And the idea becomes even more shocking when you realise she's allegedly preparing to take on the future king directly. She's reportedly arguing that her commercial use of the Sussex brand, plus her philanthropic work, somehow turns the title into something she owns. The legal community is stunned. Using a royal title for branding doesn't magically make it yours. Just like renting an apartment doesn't make you the owner. One senior barrister put it bluntly, saying, "The title belongs to the crown, full stop." And the legal obstacles only get bigger from there. Royal titles are part of the constitutional system. They exist only by the monarch's authority and can't be defended through international courts.
Angela Liven, our royal mastermind, has told the truth about Prince Harry and Meghan.
Some insiders say Meghan believes American courts could somehow override British constitutional law, but experts say no US judge has the power to interfere with royal prerogatives. Trying to push that case would likely spark laughter across global legal circles. And to make things even more complicated, she's not even using the title correctly. Royal protocol states that only blood royals can place the Duke title before their name. Meghan, by tradition, should be styled as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, not Duchess Meghan, which is how she often presents herself. Yet, she's allegedly preparing to fight for a title she hasn't even followed the rules for. Palace sources add that she insists her situation is different from Andrew's, claiming she earned her title through years of royal service. But constitutional scholars say titles are honours, they're not employment benefits, and they're not earned in the way she's describing. The timing of her alleged threats is bold to the point of shocking. Just as King Charles showed how quickly titles can be removed, Meghan is supposedly gearing up to challenge the Crown's authority head-on. But royal titles cannot be challenged in court. The Crown's prerogative powers are absolute, and judicial review doesn't apply. If she tried to sue William or the Crown, she'd hit a constitutional dead end immediately. The monarch would have to give permission to be sued, something that makes the entire plan impossible before it even starts. Some insiders claim she's exploring the idea of filing in the United States, thinking American jurisdiction could overpower British constitutional law. But legal experts from both countries are shutting that idea down fast, saying the Crown cannot be challenged by a foreign court. American judges have zero authority over monarchy decisions. Such a move could create a massive diplomatic mess involving both governments. And it doesn't stop there. There's also the possibility of risking complications with US law. The unratified titles of nobility amendment and similar statutes raise questions about whether prioritizing foreign royal honors could affect her citizenship obligations. That means she might not just be putting her title at risk, she could be inviting scrutiny toward her American citizenship if her legal strategy is interpreted as loyalty to a foreign crown. And according to palace insiders, the timing could not be worse. King Charles just showed everyone how absolute royal authority is by removing Andrew's titles with no hesitation. Trying to challenge the crown through litigation would look like a direct attack on the monarchy itself. Legal scholars warn she might be stepping straight into a constitutional storm without realizing just how serious the consequences could be. This move could put both governments in a super awkward spot. The UK is constitutionally bound to defend royal prerogatives, while the US would likely avoid backing a challenge that messes with another nation's constitutional system. From a PR standpoint alone, it's reckless. The Andrew precedent made one thing clear: the Crown can act fast, cleanly, and without major backlash. Andrew lost his titles in a blink, and most of the public actually supported it. Meghan thinking she can sway centuries of law with media buzz or public sympathy shows a serious misreading of British law and public sentiment. Experts warn that any attempt would fail and could even hurt her image. Highlighting her misunderstanding of constitutional law would humiliate her in both UK and US media. Remember, Andrew was a blood royal with far more clout, and he couldn't stop the loss of his titles. Meghan, a courtesy duchess, has even less protection under constitutional rules. What makes this drama even crazier is the gap between what she thinks she has a right to and reality. She reportedly believes that her commercial and charity work gives her ownership over a royal title. But every constitutional expert is shaking their head. She has zero legal standing, no jurisdiction, and no case. The Andrew precedent is a brutal reminder. Royal authority cannot be challenged in court. Insiders say Meghan might be totally misreading the lesson. Instead of seeing how pointless it is to fight the crown, she's allegedly motivated to strike first. Experts call this approach legally clueless and politically risky. One false step could trigger a swift, irreversible response from the crown, with almost no legal or public hurdles.
What they're saying, what all of us YouTubers and platforms are saying, because you need to do something differently. How does this end well for—
Her threats also expose a massive cultural clash. In the US, courts often intervene in disputes over contracts or property. In the UK, the sovereign's prerogative over honours is absolute. Meghan's American mindset couldn't be further from the constitutional reality she now faces. She may hope that celebrity coverage or legal theatrics will protect her, but none of that even scratches the crown's legal supremacy. As all this unfolds, palace insiders are reportedly watching with a mix of amusement and disbelief. Legal experts call her plan laughably frivolous, bordering on embarrassing. Any solicitor brave enough to represent her could face serious professional backlash. The Andrew precedent is a glaring warning. Titles can be removed instantly, publicly, and without recourse. Meghan's sense of security is completely off base. The stage is set for a brutal clash between her expectations and centuries of constitutional reality. Meghan Markle, confident in her legal chops and Hollywood savvy, may soon learn that British law, royal precedent, and the absolute power of the monarch are immovable obstacles. Her threats to sue are likely to fail spectacularly, exposing a deep misunderstanding of monarchy law and protocol. If history teaches anything, this could end up being the most humiliating legal misstep in royal history. And while Meghan plots her next move, the crown is calm but ready. King Charles has shown how swiftly he acts, and Prince William is prepared to follow suit. The constitutional consequences for Meghan could be harsh and immediate. The audacity of an American duchess trying to litigate against the British monarchy is unprecedented. Experts warn it could backfire spectacularly, leaving her with far less than she has now. Once word of her threats leaked, Buckingham Palace reacted quietly but decisively. No panic, no shouting matches, just careful, precise management. Palace legal and communications teams, experienced with these types of headlines, treated the leak as a procedural issue, a problem to be contained before it spun out of control. The palace doesn't negotiate with narratives. It absorbs, neutralizes, and moves forward. Public reaction was instant. Headlines in the UK and US screamed, "Duchess Markle to sue future king, royal legal bombshell." Social media erupted. Memes, threads, debates, each one wilder than the last. Some commentators mocked her misunderstanding of British law. Others questioned the sense of an American citizen challenging one of the world's oldest monarchies. Legal analysts dissected the story with disbelief, labeling it legally impossible and constitutionally absurd. One scathing commentary even called it embarrassing beyond measure. Meanwhile, palace insiders quietly briefed King Charles and Prince William. Both stayed calm but firm. The Crown's prerogative powers are clear. Any American legal challenge would not only fail, it would be laughable. The palace strategy? Silence. Let constitutional law speak for itself. No public statements, no threats. The British monarchy operates on centuries of precedent, not noise. Meghan was about to collide with an institution built to withstand storms crafted by entitled outsiders from across the Atlantic. Hollywood reacted as expected, hyperbolic and dramatic. Gossip columns speculated endlessly. Influencers analysed every possible outcome in Instagram lives. YouTube ran countdowns predicting if Meghan could somehow win against all odds. Some sympathetic voices argued she had a moral right to protect her title, completely ignoring that moral arguments carry zero weight in constitutional law. Others were far less forgiving, tearing apart the Andrew precedent in painful detail, showing that not even royals born into privilege could resist the sovereign's authority in London. The legal community didn't hold back either. Top barristers specialising in constitutional law issued blunt warnings. Meghan's plan is doomed. One senior barrister spelled it out. Royal titles aren't assets you can defend in a US court. The crown cannot be sued. Not by a blood royal, not by a courtesy duchess, not by anyone. Trying is just asking for embarrassment, international ridicule, and professional skepticism for any lawyer willing to take the case. Legal blogs went wild, dissecting every clause, every letter of Andrew's title removal, and historical precedent stretching back centuries. Inside the Sussex camp, sources say Meghan outwardly stayed unshaken. Staff allegedly reassured her that the media storm proved her influence. Ridicule and mockery were read as signs that the palace was worried. Advisors warned this underestimated the Crown's discipline, but Meghan's faith in American-style legal recourse seemed unshakable. She reportedly viewed history, protocol, and precedent not as barriers, but as challenges to conquer with negotiation, public spectacle, or sheer celebrity power. The humiliation ramped up as legal commentators published detailed analyses comparing her claims to Andrew's swift removal. Social media posts sliced her arguments apart with surgical precision. She claimed ownership of a title that could vanish in an instant, misapplied formal styling rules, and fundamentally misunderstood the Crown's prerogative. Online memes exploded. One showed Meghan dramatically pointing at a gavel held by King Charles, while captions mocked her lawsuit attempt. Another had her begging a cartoonish Harry to back her legal strategy. Inside, Meghan reportedly grew frustrated. Staff tried to calm her, suggesting she could maintain dignity without litigation, but she pressed on, convinced her American legal play would force the Crown's hand, or at least deliver a public victory. The gap between perception and reality became a spectacle in itself. Her confidence clashed spectacularly with centuries of constitutional law. As days went by, palace sources say internal communications continued, preparing for media fallout and potential diplomatic complications. King Charles and William reportedly stayed calm, knowing the constitutional mechanisms made Meghan's threats meaningless. Any litigation attempt would expose her legal naivety and make her public position increasingly fragile. The ultimate humiliation arrived when legal experts publicly outlined the impossibility of her lawsuit. Panels and op-eds were merciless. They emphasized, royal titles exist solely at the sovereign's discretion. Even a blood royal cannot fight removal. US courts have zero jurisdiction. Andrew's precedent ensures total compliance. For Meghan, the gap between ambition and reality couldn't have been clearer. Her once proud narrative, meant to showcase strength and determination, turned into a cautionary tale of misunderstanding constitutional authority. By the third week, sources report she was privately furious. The palace hadn't moved, courts wouldn't hear her, and public opinion increasingly framed her as naive and out of touch. The legal letters landed with crushing effect. Her American legal tactics looked amateurish, revealing a fundamental misread of monarchy and protocol. What she thought was a strategic power move backfired spectacularly, becoming a public spectacle of embarrassment. Finally, palace sources say the Sussex camp started to pivot. Advisors urged abandoning legal threats, focusing instead on media management and accepting constitutional reality. The lesson was brutal but clear. Hollywood tactics, celebrity media manipulation, and legal showmanship cannot overcome centuries of royal authority. The Crown's power is absolute, its mechanisms are centuries old, and its patience is methodical. Any attempt to challenge it publicly is doomed. One thing is undeniable. Meghan Markle's American-style legal audacity collided disastrously with the realities of British monarchy. The palace stayed unshaken. Constitutional experts quietly chuckled, while the media captured every misstep. What began as a bombshell legal threat ended as a public lesson. Titles are not possessions. Crowns cannot be sued. And bold audacity has limits when facing centuries of entrenched authority. The palace waits, the media watches. Meghan Markle is left with nothing but echoes of her own miscalculation, a cautionary tale etched across newspapers, broadcasts, and social media feeds for years to come. Each viral post, meme, and op-ed amplified the spectacle, reminding the world that even fame and wealth cannot bend centuries of royal law. If you found this story shocking and wild, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your comment below. Let us know what you think about Meghan's boldest move yet.